And welcome to another episode of The Focal Thought. My guest today is Karin Gatternig. How are you, Karin?
I am fantastic. Thank you. How are you, Croydon?
Good, good, thanks. I'm happy to have you on the show today. I'm excited to talk to you about your new book, which came out November of last year. You Have the Right to Be Rich. And you've helped literally thousands of people over the past decade, showing them a way to live with abundance, wealth, health, and success. And you're passing on a lot of your knowledge from the various training sources that you've done in Europe and the USA. And then you also do coaching with horses as well, right?
Yeah, that's true. And that's my big passion. I love to do it. Horses are my partners and my co-coaches. And yeah, I would love to tell you a little bit more about it.
Sure. So let's maybe get into a little bit of that coaching with horses. This is not traditional horse training or anything like that, right? If you can talk a bit about that.
Yeah, many people think that it's a training of horses, but it's definitely not. It's a coaching of the people. And I just have the horses with me. They are included in the whole process, but it's not a training of the horses. So horses, we work with the instinct of these animals, and horses are so sensitive. They mirror exactly what vibration we are in. And yeah, that's the reason why my clients can see immediately which vibration they are in, which vibration is active, and that's the result they get in life.
I didn't know that. Is there something special about horses only from the animal species that they do that, or?
Oh, you can do it with other animals too. It's also a healing process if you work with dolphins or dogs or llamas. But I'm in love with the horses. This is my passion. I'm in contact with horses since I'm 10 years old. So it was a big childhood dream to have a horse and a ranch and a farm and be around the horses. Yeah, and that's why I choose the horses for my work.
Wow. So you resonate with the horses.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you bring someone in front of a horse, if they're feeling happy, the horse can sense that. If they're feeling sad or angry, the horse will mimic those emotions as well.
Yeah, and that's my job. That I translate what the show is, what the horse is showing in this moment. So the horses pick up every vibration, every emotion, and they take all the emotions out and show what they are feeling in this moment, whether it's conscious or unconscious. And that's so fascinating because so many people don't know which vibration they are in. And they come to me and they say, okay, I want to change this area of my life, whether it's the job or health or wealth. They want more abundance and they block themselves, but they don't know what is blocking them. And yeah, if they are together with the horses, they can see it immediately.
That's really good. I mean, especially when you say, they sense something consciously and also unconsciously. I mean, just recently I've been getting into subtle energies. And traditionally, when we think of energy for the human body, we might think of, maybe mental energy to do, an exam or mental work, or we
Mm-hmm.
might think of physical energy to do labor. But, there's other sorts of energy like light and sound, and these are things we are not aware of. So with these clients, you might consciously be aware of certain emotions, but it's the unconscious emotions that this animal can pick up on and let you know that it's very revealing. How is it that the horse will demonstrate the emotion that you're feeling? Is it a look that they have, or a vibration like you're saying that they have? They
Yeah,
physically manifest that, or?
yeah, there are many ways the horses show what they feel, and that's something that people can learn also. to see what the horse is showing in this moment. Yeah, they have the tail, they have the ears, how they look, and every move they make. Some people they think about one topic, and the horses turns around and goes away. And then we talk about another topic, and the horses comes back. And also how the horse is it moving fast or slow? Sometimes the people, they have a leash. Yeah, I have the horse on the leash, and they go and walk with the horse, and then we talk about, there's sometimes it's one word and the horse stops in this moment.
Wow.
And these are so indications where I can say, okay, there's something unconscious. And that's what I'm working through with the clients. And the beautiful thing is we all have pictures in the mind. We are working with pictures, and every thought creates a picture in the mind. And my clients can see the picture, what the horse is showing them. So, and if we go through this process and we work this vibration out and the block out, they can change immediately their whole situation. And then the horse starts walking again. For example, this is one example, one of many, many examples.
Sure. No, that's good to hear, because I mean, traditionally, in our history, horses were used for labor and for sport and for breeding and, things like that. But it's good to see that, now they have a place in psychology and medicine, with health practicing this way. So that's really nice to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have so many beliefs inside, the main reason why people don't live the life they want to live is they have beliefs. They don't serve them now in their reality. So beliefs like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, and I have to do more effort. And all these beliefs we get from the loved ones from childhood, because these are not beliefs we choose consciously. And yeah, that's beautiful to bring them out, to bring them on the surface, that the people can see it and change it. And the change is immediately here. It's also wonderful with companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if some companies, they send me the whole team and we make some teamwork with the horses. That's also beautiful. So there are many areas horses play a really big role.
That's good. I'm really glad to hear that again. And, I'm open to researching some more of this. And, you speak of beliefs, and beliefs are, it's something that everyone should start with. In many, especially, Catholicism, the prayers start with "I believe." In philosophy, it's about, the belief that you have in arguments. And when I say arguments, I mean in logic and reasoning. It's all about, the belief that you hold, is even before, the argument that you have, right? The logic that you have. It's based on your beliefs to a certain extent. Religion, as I mentioned, it's all based on, what you believe in, which God you believe in, your ideologies, beliefs, they sort of form your whole character and perception of the world as well. And you speak of abundance, and when people want to achieve success, wealth, and maybe even not those things, even things like health, you have to have that abundant mentality. And, I certainly believe that everyone has that in them. And when you're born, it's the great reset, right? You start from scratch, and you almost have to find that within you. Was abundance something you always had, or did you have to remember you had it, or did you have to learn how to achieve that mentality?
Yes, I had to learn it, and it was I say sometimes a hard process for me. I mean, the process is simple, but it's not easy to do because you need persistence and the will and the faith, and you have to make a decision. But I didn't grow up in a very abundant family or rich family. Prosperity was not always here. So my parents always gave me and my brother everything they had. So in this, I was abundant. I had a really happy childhood, but the prosperity in form of money, I had to learn and I had to go through, and also the abundance of health. Yes, that's something I had always inside of me. But there are always many areas. Some people have it inside, and some beliefs we have to change. And that's beautiful to recognize what's already here. What can I live already? What can I feel? And can I experience in my reality? And what do I have to change? And that's beautiful, because every belief, how you said, that's so true. Belief is something how we see the world and the environment we grow up, that forms our lens, our perspective of the world, perception of the world. We didn't choose that when we came here in this physical body, but our nature is abundance and prosperity and health and wealth. And some people have to learn it.
And how did you learn it? Did you read books or go to seminars or follow wealthy people, or did you have a mentor? Or...
Everything you just said.
Yeah.
Everything. I've read so many books, and then I made a certification to become a coach. I had many mentors in my life, and I still have a very good mentor by my side, because every coach needs a coach. We always have the blind spots we don't see. So we need someone from outside to look at us, to say, okay, here's something you can work on, and maybe you can see this from a different perspective. And it was a process. I work very, very much on myself. I have all the tools. I need someone to look from outside. But you have to take the time and the will and the consistency and the faith that everything is working out for us, because the universe gave us everything we need. So we have everything inside of us. We just have to bring it to the surface, and that's our job.
Got it. And you mentioned we have everything we need. I mean, the universe is abundant. You can see that just by looking at the stars. There's many, many stars out there. And even on, planet Earth, maybe it's because of the ego, we feel sometimes that there's not enough. And, that's central to, the thinking of abundance, because, the opposite of that is, not abundant, right? So something is not enough.
Yeah.
And really it is. I mean, there's money that can go around, there's food that can go around, there's resources, available. We might not think it is, but, it is. We even think about space, geographical space. We think that the city is cluttered maybe, or, the suburbs are very congested. Humans are overpopulated maybe. That's relative to industry. But then, where I live, all you have to do is drive maybe 10 minutes north, and you're into the countryside, and you can keep driving for hours, and it's nothing but pastures and, farmland. And so there's a lot of, open areas out there. But, we're so concentrated where we live, and in the city, we're, focused on our, in the zone we're in. We forget that, life is abundant. The riches are out there. Do you think abundance, or the lack of, feeling abundant, has anything to do with self-esteem? Because, you mentioned a little bit before, you have to work on yourself as an individual first before learning the other things.
Yeah, I think it's the reason that there's so many people live in lack is that's the way they grew up. That's the way they were raised, from the parents, from the family, from the teachers, from the whole environment. It's just a perception. And this perception, everybody can change. Everyone has the possibility to change the perception, because that is consciousness. You just have to be aware that everything is available, more than enough. There is no lack. The universe doesn't know the word or the vibration of lack. The universe is just abundant, and there are no boundaries. This is all limitless, and everything is available for everyone. And that's beautiful when people come to me and they are open-minded. And that's a good basis to work on, because if they are open-minded, they are open for a different perspective.
Correct.
So how I said, they didn't choose this perspective, this perception from the birth on. That's how they were raised, and that's how they grew up. So it's not their fault that they live in lack, but they cause it. Of course, they're thinking.
Sure. And I'm really glad you said that there's no boundaries, because that's really important. And I never thought of that, because if you're also getting into abundance, there shouldn't be any closed boundaries. It should be open, like you're saying, right? Limitless. Yeah. It just keeps going on and on. The moment you sort of create this boundary, you're setting, a finite amount of abundance there, right? Which defeats the purpose of being abundant, or thinking with abundance. And you're right. It's also with the training you receive, growing up from, your parents, your family, your environment, your schooling. Because I remember when I was getting into personal finance, everyone talked about sticking within your budget and, saving, maybe not, spending $5 on a latte, maybe reducing it to a $2 coffee, or maybe even making the latte at home. Everyone talked about, sticking within your boundaries. Very few people that I heard actually said, you know what, don't only think about saving your money, think about increasing your income, because that also will affect your lifestyle. So that's very true. We shouldn't create boundaries, right? We should be limitless, and the world's the oyster, as they say.
Yeah, and that's how we think creates our reality, because every thought creates a feeling, and the feeling you practice right now is your point of attraction. Yeah, this emotion has a vibration, and this vibration you are sending out to the universe, and that's exactly what's coming back. And that's so interesting, because if people would understand the point of attraction, the mood and the attitude and the emotion you are in right now, that's what you are creating tomorrow. That's the evidence you see in your reality the next day, or the next weeks, and the next months. If you practice this vibration over and over again, you get the same results over and over again. And that's why I think it's so important to change the perception, to look at things from a different side, because then you can change your vibration. And everything starts with a thought. It's so important to really think about what I'm talking with myself. The self-talk is so important for the results you get in a daily life.
The inner voice, yes.
Yes, the inner voice. And the inner dialogue. What do you say to yourself? No, I can't have this. No, that's not possible for me. Oh, no, I have to make another course before I make this and that. Oh, I have to lose weight before I can make this or that. I have to save money before I can buy this one thing and this one thing. But yeah, we have so many resources, from imagination, for example, and connecting to the higher self. So this working with the universe opens up the whole universe for us.
Correct, yeah. And there's people like Bruce Lipton also, and Greg Hayden, who say that, the moment you change your thinking, like you're saying, it changes your perception, the biochemistry in your body changes as well. So, if we're getting into abundance of health, if you're always worried about, getting sick or getting ill,
Yeah.
that's going to happen because you're attracting that. But if you maintain, vitality, perception of vitality, you be positive about your health, your exercise, your nutrition, that's what you'll achieve, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What you think about, you bring about. So take the attention of the subject you don't want to experience and focus on the thing you want to have in your reality. Because if you think on the abundance and on the health and wealth and maybe a wonderful relationship, then you don't feel sad or frustrated or in fear. That's a thought that brings up only positive emotions. And this emotion is a certain vibration. And this vibration you are sending out. Yeah. To focus on this particular thing we want to create is recently the most important thing. Yeah. And yeah, that's also what is really beautiful to see and observe with working with the horses. Because if people change their attention and the focus, the horse is totally different in the whole behavior.
Wow. So it's just reflecting of everyone.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
reflecting and affecting.
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
exactly. So they show immediately which vibration the clients are practicing, and also by myself. That's a wonderful tool for myself, because if I have a topic where I think, okay, maybe I have a look at this or that, I go to the horses, and sometimes it's really funny because I go in direction of my horses and they wait until maybe I'm 1 feet or 2 feet in front of them, and then they turn around and run away. Okay. And then I know, okay, first I'm going to have a coffee. I'm going to sit down, take a deep breath, and come later in 10 minutes. And then it works.
Wow.
Because their horses show me exactly almost every day in which vibration I am in. And sometimes they say, no, this vibration, no chance that you can do something with me. I don't want to be in touch with you if you are in this vibration.
Correct. Wow. That's very interesting. And, we should also say that, when we speak of wanting or attracting these positive vibrations, when we have these negative vibrations, such as fear, anger, sadness, these are not bad emotions or bad vibrations. A vibration is just a vibration, right? It's physics.
Yeah.
It's the meaning we give to it, that sort of, brings about judgment and, character of the vibration, things like that. I tend to look at these negative emotions as sort of warning signs. If you have, or if you're experiencing negativity or anger or sadness, you're not a bad person because of that. It's just an alert that something is going on right now in your life that requires a change in trajectory. And if you're able to manage, those negative emotions and say, okay, I'm feeling sad right now. Why am I feeling sad? Or what has made me angry?
Mm-hmm.
Then, you can be in a better way and you can utilize those negative emotions and bring about the positive ones you seek. But you have to be aware of those negative emotions and not label them and not be victimized by them and, fall into a deep downward spiral because of them.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And it's good if you, that's wonderful if you have a state of consciousness that you are aware that, okay, here's a negative emotion active, and to question, why do I feel that way? Because it's only a belief, yeah, that we feel the negative emotion. And the negative emotion is an indicator that we have a different perception of this one topic than the universe has. Because the emotions are our guidance system. If we feel happy, then go on. if you are feeling negative emotion, ask why I am feeling that way. And sometimes we recognize that this is only a wrong perception. This is only a false belief. And what is a belief? A belief is a thought we think over and over again. And at one point, this belief, the thought we think, becomes a belief, and the belief shows us or shows itself in the body. Because if we feel the negative emotion, we feel it in the body. And the emotions have the place in the subconscious mind. So this is the program. This is running on autopilot. And sometimes at one point, the subconscious mind, the autopilot, runs automatically and gives the signal to the body, and we feel the negative emotion and we don't know why. And
Wow,
that's very interesting, because it's not consciously that we think now in a false belief. So that's the program. We thought this thought many, many times until it became a belief. And the belief is in the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind expresses itself through the body. And that's wonderful. Yeah, because then we know we have a false belief and we can change it. So you just have to find out what is the belief. You can change it. And your whole vibration and your point of attraction changes. And that's wonderful.
Correct. And that, I'm glad you said that, because, you can change your beliefs, and you should sometimes change your beliefs, as you're growing up. As a kid, maybe you were into toys and you were into superheroes. And as you become a teen and adult, you stray away from those, right? So you no longer believe that, say, for example, Spider-Man is the greatest person on earth, right? Now it might be, say, for example, a musician, if you're into music. And that musician can change also as you grow up, right? Your taste in music can change. Because of that, your beliefs can change, right? If your beliefs stem from a certain music culture, they will have certain habits that come along with it. Yeah. And you should change your beliefs, because your beliefs come from your reasoning of, what you deem to be true, at the moment. But say, for example, if you do more research into something, you find it is untrue, you shouldn't still hold on to that belief, right? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just a belief and you can change it anytime. And that's beautiful. And that's why we should use our guidance system, the emotions, because that's the indicator.
Correct. Now, you wrote this book in November. What is the main message you want to send to people? Your motivation for writing this book? If you could summarize your book into one main message, what would that be, maybe?
The main message is everything is available for everybody, for everyone. And there's nothing you cannot be, do, or have.
So nothing you cannot be, do or have. So you can be anyone you want. You can do anything you want. You can have anything you want.
Yes.
As simple as that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So that's the fundamental belief, and then you need the abundance thinking to put that into action. Yes, exactly. Yeah. This belief, yeah, and then the action, then you get the results. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. What comes after abundance thinking? So you've got the belief that, look, you want to do this. Now you have the mentality, you've psyched yourself up for it. Now you achieve that result. How do you maintain that result? Because that's also very important, right? Because too often people get caught up with just achieving a goal, but then maintaining that goal becomes almost the new goal, right? Yeah, but we have never finished. There's always a new goal, that's growth. And I know that from myself, if I achieve a goal, the next day something pops up in my reality and I think, okay, that's cool. I want to have that. Okay, let's work on this. And that's so beautiful, because we have never done, we are never ready.
We have so many things, and that's why contrast is also a very wonderful experience. We can contrast is not something that is bad.
Yeah.
Contrast is very helpful because every contrast shows us exactly what we don't want to have. Everything we don't want to experience is contrast or conflict. So if we take the opposite of this one, of this conflict,
Yeah.
then we have a new goal, and that's growth.
Got it. Got it. That makes sense because we're always evolving and growing. So should our goals and so should our perception, right? Our mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And contrast is really something very helpful because every contrast shows exactly where we don't want to be, what we don't want to have. So the next goal is born. And to maintain a goal, so maybe there are some people, they want to lose some weight and then they think, okay, but maybe I should do more exercise. So they have the new goal to go to the gym on a regular basis, and then it's in spring, and then they think, okay, but in summer I want to have this size, or I saw this swimsuit I want to have. Okay, this one has to fit me until the next 3 months. This is my goal. So simple things. We every day we give birth to a new desire, and that's wonderful.
Got it. Yeah. And contrast, you mentioned again, getting back to those negative emotions. I've always felt that if you didn't know what sadness was, you wouldn't appreciate happiness, for example. So, for example, you have little children who are running around and they, by nature, they're very happy. They're always laughing and playing because, that is the world that they know. They're taken care of, by their parents financially, food wise,
Mhm.
support wise, shelter wise. They're not paying bills. They don't have to work. They don't have to go out in this
Yeah.
world. They're not facing much adversity. So for them, all they know is happiness. But then I wonder that because you don't know the opposite, can you truly appreciate that you're happy? Because you might not know that you're happy because you're just happy, right? So it's only when you fall down or maybe something sad happens as a child, then you realize, wait a minute, now I'm sad. But then when something happy happens, then you're able to feel happiness. And
Mhm.
you're contrasting the two emotions, right?
Yeah. To be happy is, that's how I start my day every day in the morning when I wake up and my eyes are still closed. First, I visualize my next goal. And the next thing is, I always appreciate, I say, thank you, Mama Universe, Papa Universe, you can call it whatever you want. Thank you that I have the chance to experience a new wonderful day. Thank you for waking up. Thank you for being alive.
Wow, the gratitude frequency.
The gratitude frequency. And if you practice this every morning, you know what? The day is only wonderful. You can only experience a wonderful day with wonderful people, with wonderful conversations. And that's the vibration of gratitude.
Wow, that's great. No, thank you very much again for coming on the show and sharing your ideas with us, and
Thank
especially for
you.
speaking on abundance, because especially in times like this, and always I would say, but now that we're more aware, as I feel, consciousness is always developing as we go along, it's important to feel abundant. And again, not for material possessions like
Yeah.
money, mansions, things like that. It's for health. It's to be, socially happy, to have a community of family and friends. And again, if we're reflecting off each other and with that reflection, we're affecting each other, that can be positive towards the community, which then affects cities and, countries and continents, etc. It goes around. If people want to find out more about your work, what's the best place to reach you out?
Oh, the best place is my website is www.karingatternig.com. That's my website, and there are all informations available also for the certification if anybody wants to learn how to work with horses, because there's so many people out there, they have horses and they spend the time with the horses maybe twice a week just for cleaning, a little bit of horseback riding, and that's all. So maybe there are some people, they want to do more with the horses. They can also make the certification.
Okay, great. Thanks. And I'll put those in the show notes as well for your contact
Thank
information.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks again for the podcast, and I wish you well.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.